This is Wages of Cine's 31 Days of Horror. I'm Stephen Gillum, and I have a special guest here today.
Hi, my name is Ozzy Mills.
And Ozzy was just seen here playing Pyramid Head. And you could probably guess what movie we're reviewing today. What movie are we reviewing today?
Today we are reviewing Silent Hill.
Silent Hill. Silent Hill was came out in 2006. It was directed by a Canadian-French horror director by the name of Christopher Gans. Mm-hmm. He was a huge fan of the games, I read, and he actually petitioned to Konami to let him direct the movie. He, I guess, made a little short film and said, "Hey, I'm going to treat this right. I'm a fan. I'm just not someone who's trying to cash in."
I like what he did with it.
Yeah, and I kind of wish he had done the second one.
I really wish he had done so as well. He actually, for the most part, got the essence of what it meant to be in Silent Hill, and I love the ending, even though a lot of people didn't like the ending. Mm-hmm. And for me, I thought it was closer to its Japanese roots because Western audiences, we tend to prefer a happy ending, like a complete resolution, and Silent Hill didn't give you that.
Yeah.
And I applauded him for that. You know, it was a gutsy thing to do.
Well, mentioning that, let's jump into the games because you're way more knowledgeable on the video games than I am.
Yes.
I know that there were 7 main games that have come out. There's 5, I guess other. And on the internet it was referred to as other games. 3 canceled games. 3 games that was planned and never actually came to be. Mm-hmm. But you've played the games. I've played a couple of them. And I've watched a lot of YouTube videos on them.
Oh yeah, I spent quite a bit of time on the first game, and then I put it down. It's like I enjoyed it. I thought it was very different, especially because at the time, like what was it, 99?
When it was first PlayStation, right?
Yeah, first PlayStation game. So I think it was 99 when that first game came out. Mm-hmm. It was like up until then we had Resident Evil, you know, and we've been playing that, and that was survival horror. And then you didn't think it was going to be anything better than that, and then Silent Hill just came out of nowhere. And that first game just put you in that foggy town, and it was so creepy, and the ambience was amped up, and I fell in love with it. And then I gotten done with it and everything, and a few years went by, then Silent Hill 2 came out, and that's when it really hit its stride.
Mm-hmm. The soundtrack was taken directly from the video games,
yes,
which I thought was awesome, because an amazing soundtrack.
It was a really great soundtrack. I believe his name is Akira Yamamoto.
I'm glad you could say it. I looked at him like, I'm not even going to try because I'm going to butcher it and sound terrible.
I'm kind of an otaku, so.
We'll go through the people who starred in the movie here. We have Rahada Mitchell, who played Rose, or Rose da Silva was her character. She was the, I guess, adoptive mother of the girl, Jadelle Furlan, who played Sharon.
And Alyssa.
Mm-hmm. Sean Bean was the father. He played Christopher da Silva.
Which he did not actually die in that movie. I was surprised.
Did he die in the sequel?
It was a dream sequence.
Dream sequence?
Yeah.
So he managed to get through all Silent Hill movies alive.
Yeah, which is really surprising.
Laurie Holden was Sybil Bennett, the cop.
Yes, I thought that was spot on casting for Sybil Bennett. Laurie Holden, isn't she in the Walking Dead?
She was, yeah. Deborah Kara Unger. She was the mother. She was Alyssa's mother. And there were several other cool characters. The Christabel character, awesome actress. But yeah, when you first saw it, did you go see this in theaters or?
Yeah, the first one I saw in theaters. It was a pretty decent experience. I think I enjoy watching movies at home a lot more because then I can actually slow it down and stop and like really pay attention to details. And yeah.
I tell you, it freaked me out when I first saw it. It was I guess I was thinking this. Up until then, there weren't a whole lot of really good video game adaptations into movies. So when I watched this, I was kind of expecting a little cheesy, a little kind of campy, but this was actually taken very seriously. And
yeah, and I appreciated that because it's like even today, it's still an underrated film. It was actually one of the first really good video game adaptations.
And it's scary, and it's good gore in there. I mean, this guy here when he makes his appearance.
Oh, which he is like obviously the most anticipated character, you know. It's like even though he was sparingly used, and I appreciate it, it didn't just plaster him throughout the movie.
Sure.
It was like when they used him, he left an impression, you know. And ever since he appeared in the movie, like he's just been everywhere. He's a pop culture icon now.
He was in the video game. He has a different name. I guess he goes by.
When the character was first introduced in the second game, he's pretty much the antagonist of James Sunderland. He was referred to as Red Pyramid Thing. I believe it was the fans who just kind of named him Pyramid Head.
Pyramid Head.
It just stuck. So
He's an awesome creature from the movie, but there's several others. The movie starts off with that kind of. He's kind of referred to, isn't he referred to as like the condom monster or something?
Essentially. I've always called them armless. It's like, for me, a lot of the creatures never really had names other than like the nurse, and even then, like, she was referred to as the bubblehead nurse originally, and then it just kind of became the nurse.
Now, is that like the nurse that there were several of, or is there? I know there's like one main nurse that was. Referenced, I guess.
Yeah, there was definitely one main one, but the creature designs were brilliant. It was beautiful, twisted, disgusting things, and I love details like that, and I just love that some of these things can actually tell a story. Like, what was the one that they made up for the movie? The Colin character?
Was it the janitor?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, like I thought the design of that was really good, and it's like, even though they made it for the movie, I appreciated that, it fit so well within that universe.
Yeah.
And he just really told his story from how he was all mangled up.
That was an intense scene. When he that was like, I think when the first, I guess you saw the world change before that, but when it was in that bathroom, it's like, wow, it's messed up. And he comes out. But even the, what they call them, the Dark Children.
Oh, yeah.
And when Rose, I guess she first gets to Silent Hill, and it's one of the first times that the sirens go off and the world changes on her.
Yeah, that was pretty much taken from the opening of the first game, essentially, where it followed Harry Mason, and he winds through these alleys and then eventually comes across these weird children-like creatures. And it was actually a big controversy about it in the first game, because they were actually designed a little differently. They looked more like, actual children, but we had problems with that in the West, so it was changed, and that's how you got those creatures there. So
Okay.
I like what they did with it, though.
Yeah, it was really cool. I definitely think people should check it out. It's a fantastic film.
Yes, it really is. Give it a watch, and if you have friends who haven't seen it, have them watch it too.
Are you familiar with our rating scale, how we rate movies?
No,
We have two scales. We have what we call the poop scale for movies that are kind of crappy. I think this movie, being a higher production, actually released by an actual studio, rate this on a normal scale. What we normally do is, like, if we're watching, say, Lord of the Rings, then you say, I'd give this 5 Frodos, or something from the movie, and we go 5 being you loved it, 1 not so much. I can start off if you want, just to give you a feel for it.
Give me a feel for it.
This is it's an awesome film. So it definitely gets a 5 cleavers here, 5 giant butcher knives that Pyramid Head wields, because that thing is awesome.
Yeah, and I think I'm gonna give it 5 nurses, because the movie is well done, it's slick, and it's sexy.
Yeah. So let's talk about what you built here.
Yeah, this is always a task. This isn't the first one I've built, and I'm pretty sure it won't be the last one. But yeah, it was a lot of fun, just really getting into it. Now, at first glance, like, you can recognize that it is the character of Pyramid Head, but I didn't do it verbatim from the movie, and that's just because when you're first introduced to the character in the second game, and then again in Homecoming and so on and so forth, I believe that the town kind of tailors itself to the person that comes into it. So whatever baggage they bring is how things are going to appear and what you kind of are experiencing while you're there.
Yeah.
So I just poured some of myself into this, like, what would this say about, this character?
Yeah.
So it was a lot of fun.
Can you talk about some of the materials you used to make it?
Actually, yeah. Majority of it is actually foam core. So it's about 6 sheets of foam core just to make it. And what you saw initially when I was making it was the undershell. So the part where the eye windows, that was the undershell. And then this is all plated over top of it with more foam core. And it builds it out, thickens it up, and makes it look like it's made from plate steel.
Yeah, I mean, it looks super heavy, but I mean, you pick it up and
Yeah, it's really light.
you can wear it. It's not going to wear you out. I mean, this is good for you can wear it at conventions or Halloween time. You know.
Like that was one of the things that was really concern to me, was making it so that you can wear it and actually see the world and not trip over yourself.
Let's see. Let's talk about this guy here.
Oh yeah, this pain, this monster of a weapon. This is actually styrofoam insulation that I got from Lowe's. Then I pretty much cut the insulation in half, layered it together to get that thickness. And then the bolster here is actually made of foam core. Handle is wrapped with tape. Then I took some fabric material because there's actually a skirt that goes with this. And wrap the handle with it. And then you notice all these little rivets that line it. Those are actually thumbtacks. And that's just because I felt that it gives it more dimension and more reality, and also makes it look like metal, you know. And yeah, it was a real fun process. I always go all out on these because they're just so much fun to do and make, and it doesn't matter. You can be sloppy and bang it up and scratch it up, and it only adds to it because it's Silent Hill, you know. It's rust and decay.
Everything's very weathered.
Yeah, so I love it.
How long does it take you to create a set of these, like a helmet and a sword?
Helmet and a sword. The sword being fairly simple. The helmet usually takes about a week, and in the process I'm working on the sword and everything else too. It's a lot of paint and whatnot that comes from the rusting and making things bloody. I just splatter onto whatever's going to become the skirt underneath. So.
Okay. So these do you make these for other people, and do you sell these?
Yes, I've sold several of them now. I've made them for other people. I've also done other video game related projects as well. I think you saw the Keeper from the Evil Within that I did. And that was
like
the safe. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I can do it. If you can think of it, I will make it.
What's the best way people can get a hold of you if they want to get one of these?
If people want to get a hold of me, they can look me up on Facebook, and that is Ozzy Mills. Facebook.
We'll put the link down below.
Yeah, there'll be something there. But
very cool. Well, definitely thank you for reviewing the movie with us today, and being Pyramid Head, and creating this awesome Pyramid Head helmet and sword.
Well, thank you. No problem. Anytime.
All right. So that's our review today, and we'll see you next time.
Later.